Nobody's coming to save you. Yeah, I know that might sound harsh, but nobody is coming to save you. The reality is, the life that you envision for yourself, the one filled with purpose, joy, and passion, fulfillment, will not manifest without you taking bold, courageous action rooted in faith. Welcome back to the Yadi Yogi Perspective podcast. I am your host, Jade Kadish, and today's episode is courage. Cultivating courage. Courage. That's how I've been saying it. Courage. Nobody's coming to save you. Have you been feeling like it's high time that you take steps and, and leap towards the life that you truly want to live? If so, this episode is for you. According to the Merriam Webster Dictionary, courage is mental or mortal strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Simply put, courage is the ability to do something hard, even when there is a risk. It's about standing firm in your truth and doing what feels right, even when faced with opposition. I would be considered a courageous person. I'm full of courage, me. Yeah. When I was moving to the US, I didn't know exactly how it was gonna work. Or 2020, I was finishing up my master's degree. You know, you're young and you're upful and you're trusting in the Jamaican system. And I studied government and I had high hopes. High hopes. You know, you're hopeful. COVID was coming. There was nothing in sight, no opportunities in sight, my love. And so I decided to move to the US. I thought about it for months. I knew what it would be like. I didn't know how exactly it was going to work out, but I had the ability to move. And I was like, you know what? In full faith, in trusting myself, trusting that I'm divinely guided. That was the foundation of my decision. I had to trust myself and I had to trust the path and process and trust that it gonna work out. And so that's how I moved to the US in 2020. So in this episode, we will explore what courage looks like. What are your barriers? What's really holding you back and how you can confront them and ways to cultivate just a more courageous life. So grab your tea. Let's dive deep into how you can cultivate the art of a more courageous life. Some affirmations to begin. You can close your eyes or repeat after me. You can repeat out loud or to yourself. The fire within me is stronger than any obstacle I face. The fire within me is stronger than any obstacle I face. I embrace the unknown, knowing I am divinely guided. I embrace the unknown, knowing I am divinely guided. I stand tall in the face of adversity, knowing my worth. I stand tall in the face of adversity, knowing my worth. All right, so let's dive into courage. The first thing I would ask, what is holding you back? Courage is often hindered by either things within us or things outside of us. Meaning that for internal barriers, it's more your self doubt, your self sabotage, your fear of failure, your fear of the unknown, just wanting to stay in your comfort zone because it's all you've known. Self doubt and negative talk, negative self talk, that voice in our heads that's a little bit pessimistic and negative and want to confirm the doubts and the fears that we have, make it more real than it actually is. We are our worst enemies, we cannot really separate from that internal barrier because that can really be generational pain and patterns that it's a lot harder than just saying, oh, it's not, it's just me mentally talking negative about myself or thinking negative about myself. It is much more embedded within us, physically within our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits. Recognize where you place your limits, where you place mountains in front of you. Recognize where you're just not willing. Because that can be okay. That can be okay. The second way barriers can limit us is these systems that we live in. We are living in a capitalist, white supremacist, patriarchal system. Nevertheless, though, no matter the internal and combination of external barriers, the journey of this life is to find or true self or true freedom, however that looks like to you, to get to an enlightened state, connecting with your higher purpose, the reason why you are here. Your dreams is not just about you. It's about breaking those generational cycles of stress and struggle and pain and survival mode, inspiring your community, leaving a legacy, and my personal favorite, leaving a legacy of love and liberation for the future generation. I got feedback when I was in Vermont at this just very random place that I have courage because I chose to move here on my own and ended up in a place like Vermont. And I had to really let that sit. I had to sit with that feeling because a lot came up for me. And it's like, oh, you think that's courage? I felt like I didn't have a choice. So is that courageous? Because I'm pushing myself. I feel like the push factors made me pull myself, if that makes sense. So a lot of the time when these systems are pressing us down and we feel like we don't have another choice. All right, this is how it's worked out for me. That even fuels a response out of me where I'm like, you know what? I have to pull myself even harder because I know that I deserve something different. I know that there has to be more to the experience, to the journey. And so leaving a legacy of love and liberation for the future generation is my ultimate mission. At the end of the day, life is really a risk. And so we have to be practicing resilience and courage, whether we like it or not. So, whether that's dealing with our internal struggles or dealing with the systems within which we live, the pressures of life, your dreams and your reality are not just about you and what you're feeling and what you have to overcome. It's about something higher than yourself. Especially if you want to be a parent. Especially if you are a parent. You more than anything else. I mean, it's very important to pay attention to your ancestors and the people that came before you, because who you are is because of them. You cannot separate yourself from them. So this journey, they're very vital to this journey. They're at the foundation with self-love. The liberation journey, at the foundation, self-love, the Most High God, and your ancestors. So you, God, and the people who will come before you. So your work is to create something and making sure that for the next generation that comes before, we learned from the past two, three generations before, because we're not repeating the same things. There's so much is at stake. Our freedom, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual freedom, all of it is at stake. Remember, say we're living within these systems, you know. So, in spite of what you're going through internally and with the systems that we're living in, you still have, maybe a lot of people purpose won't be to break generational curses. That's mine. That is mine. Okay. I'm working very hard on that one to accept and to be able to communicate in an effective way my point of view. Still, you came here for a reason, And you have to inspire someone else. If it's even one person in your community. And so my thing, my focus is that in whatever I do, whatever I share in helping another person to cultivate some self-love, cultivate some self-compassion, some courage within themselves, it is so that I can see more of a community where we're working on leaving a legacy of love and liberation for the future generation. So whenever someone calls me courageous, or you have so much courage, or you had courage in response to a story that I share, I pity them to know that all I want to say is courage. Rage. It is rage. It is me fuel those fears, the passion, the drive, all of it to step out and do something that I've never done before, because it's not just for me. It is not just for me. So for my Jamaicans specifically, courage. Look at your rage. Look at the things that makes you angry still. Yeah? Because the poverty, the struggle, the no way, no access to opportunity, that's a lot of anger, that's a lot of rage. I'm encouraging you, as dark as that may be, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. Use that in a soft, compassionate way for yourself, to fuel yourself and say, you know what? In spite of what these systems say, and in spite of what me might have feel, overall, I know that I have to do this for me first, and then I also have to do that so that I can have an impact in a shift in positive energy and culture. We're in a very interesting place and time that I cannot fully accept. No, or yeah, I cannot fully accept. I don't feel like I fit in at all 100%, and so I'm daring to be myself and daring to be the change that I want to see, putting out the message and the information that I would like more of us to see and be centering. So on a come right here, so come right here, so come right here, so right here, so what are you willing to do, or what are you willing to risk for the life that you want? For me, I'm willing to risk being misunderstood. I'm willing to risk being laughed at or dismissed. I'm willing to risk isolation temporarily until I can find the people that truly resonate with my mind, heart, body, and spirit. So, how do you cultivate courage? You can cultivate courage in several ways. First, I would say take baby steps. So that doesn't mean no, you have this new sense of courage, you feel so empowered, you can take on a really big move tomorrow. Do baby steps. Be gentle with yourself. Take baby steps where courage is concerned. If you need to make a phone call to someone who might be able to provide some information on something, maybe they're doing something that you would like to learn more about. Perhaps it's signing up for a class with something that you've been curious about. Perhaps it's just going on the computer and researching the steps to making a move or to applying for something specific, whatever it may be. Maybe it's doing your research. Maybe it's making a video, putting yourself out there and letting people know that this is what you're doing. Something small. So take baby steps. Don't pressure yourself to have it be this big thing all at once. Allow yourself to dream. That's the second one. Allow yourself to just imagine what you would like. Imagine what a life would look like if you had everything that you need, everything that you desired, everything that you dream of. Ins- Let it inspire you. Since we aren't children anymore, imagination is shut down. Unless, I guess, unless you're a really creative person and you've held on to that childhood side of yourself, that imagination. But imagine and plan. Come up with a plan as to how you would get there. The third thing to cultivate courage: affirm yourself. I can do it. I know I can do it. I believe in myself. I'm deserving of the best. Affirm your strengths. If you have to write down the things that you are good at, if you have to call up a friend and say, hey, if you could tell me, what do you think some of my strengths are? Ask somebody that's close to you and hear what they say. Do meditate on it. The fourth way to cultivate courage is to embrace failure and embrace change. That's one of the biggest thing where courage is hard for a lot of people because we are afraid that it won't work. I am afraid that it won't work. And so it better we just don't try at all. We have to get more comfortable with change. Because change is inevitable. Change are gonna happen no matter what. Life is change. Everything is change. Every day there's change from the morning to the night. We all change in every minute, every day that will go by. So learn to embrace that. Failure is a harder one, but it is necessary. The last way that I will encourage cultivating some courage is to have a support system. Have people around you that are going to motivate you, that are going to push you, that are going to inspire you, that are going to be there to support you. This one is hard, especially when we're out there living in a world where you're far away from your family or you are with people but they don't have the vision, they aren't seeing things the same way that you are. But having some amount of support system, if it's finding people who enjoy the same things that you do and you do that, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody not come. It is up to you. We all have a spirit with a purpose. We all have a spirit with a purpose. We all have dreams put on our hearts by the Most High One. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe that we can be something. Whatever it is. But Pandisia podcast, Pandisia journey, it's that liberation journey. It's that freedom of mind, body, and soul. It's healing. It's leaving that as a legacy for your future generation. So here's what I encourage you to do differently. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane. Don't look to your left. Don't look to your right. Do not, or try your best, because it's not like we're not going to do it. I still do it. Try not to compare yourself to others on their journey. Life is not a competition. I learned that from a friend. Well, I didn't learn it from a friend, but I heard her say it in that way, and it gave me a new perspective. Like, life is literally not a competition. Like, you can only live your life and another person can only live theirs. Like, it's an individual journey, so there's no levels, there's no, well, I'll take that back. I was gonna say there is no universal level that we all have to get to, but I do think we're spiritual beings first, here having a human experience. So I do think there is a spiritual journey and ascension that we should be striving towards. It might look different for many of us, but there's so much corruption and distortion and confusion and all these isms that keeps us trapped. So, the best I can say is your liberation is unique to you. It comes back to your individual values. So, don't compare yourself to another person. Their values might be different. Stay the course, stay true to you, to your path. If you want to engage more about this, leave a comment, like, or share this episode with someone that you know that need to hear this message. Before we close out, here are some affirmations to carry with you. My dreams are on their way to me. I trust myself and the process. My dreams are on their way to me. I trust myself and the process. I am brave. I deserve everything I crave. I am brave. I deserve everything I crave. I have the courage to walk my unique path with confidence. I have the courage to walk my unique path with confidence. I have the courage to walk my unique path with confidence. My courage paves the way for liberation and transformation. My courage paves the way for liberation and transformation.